Alright guys, so today's video we're going to take a look at a pair of truly wireless earbuds that's really a direct competitor to the Powerbeats Pro. And the pair we're going to check out is the MPOW Flame Pro. Even the name Pro is in the title. But anyway, this pair retails for $99. In fact, on Amazon right now, it's $10 off, so you can pick them up for $90. Which in comparison to the Powerbeats Pro, which normally retails for $250, that's quite the gap. But do the MPOWs actually compete with the Powerbeats Pro given that large price gap? Now the Powerbeats Pro right now are on sale for $200, so there is a smaller price gap, but it is still rather large, and I think a lot of people are going to be interested in a pair that you can pick up for $100 instead of $200 or $250. But let's go ahead and check out some of those specs and what it is you get inside the box. So the first thing that I want to point out is the MPOWs do have Bluetooth 5.0 and they're using the Qualcomm 3020 chip. So you have aptX and AAC playback. So you're getting some of the best Bluetooth quality you can get right out of the box. Now another thing is the IP rating on these are IPX5, which obviously these are geared towards being active and going and working out. So these will be able to resist sweat, splashes, or anything like that, just as long as you don't submerge them into water. Now, as far as what you get inside the box, they include 4 sets of silicone ear tips, and I actually didn't have any issue finding a good fit with the ear tips that came on them right out of the box. Now, as far as the charging cable, I am happy to say that they included a USB-C cable. And the battery life on these are actually very impressive as well. Where the Powerbeats Pro gets 9 hours individually on the earbuds, the MPOWs get 8. And with the charging case, it even gives you an additional 24 hours. So total, you're looking at around 32 hours, which is really impressive. And if you're going to use these for working out, this will definitely get you through a couple of weeks with no issues. And another huge advantage to the MPOW is the charging case is actually a Qi wireless charging case. Where the Powerbeats Pro, the only way that you can charge them is using a cable. With the MPOWs, you can actually come in, sit it on a Qi wireless charger, and it will start charging. Now the case itself is almost identical to the Powerbeats Pro case, so it is fairly large, but this is due to the design of the earbuds themselves. So this case, even though it is pocketable, it's always going to look like you have quite the bulge in your pocket. There is a USB-C input on the back for charging, and another thing that I like over the Powerbeats Pro is that it has 4 indicator lights to let you know how much battery life is left on the case. Where the Powerbeats Pro is only giving you the single indicator light on the front, so you kind of have to just gauge it by colors. Now moving over to the earbuds themselves, again, you can see that they almost clone the design of the Powerbeats Pro. I found these to be extremely comfortable. I really like the flexibility of the hooks. Once you have them in your ears, you pretty much forget that they're even there. These do utilize both touch control and button control. You have your touch controls on the side for your play and pause, and then on top you have the volume up, volume down, skipping your track forward and going backwards. So it's very convenient that you can control everything on the earbuds themselves. Now another nice feature that the MPOWs have is they also have the ear sensors. Now the Powerbeats Pro has the same thing, but it's very nice that you can pick these up on a pair that's $100. Which basically means when you take them out of your ear, they will automatically pause, and then when you put them back in your ear, they will automatically resume. Now for you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, you can use both the left or the right, but if you're going to use the left by itself, you actually have to go into settings and pair it individually. So once you do that the first time, you won't have to do that each time that you use the left by itself. Now as far as the microphones on here, the MPOWs are using CVC 8.0 technology. There's basically 2 microphones on each earbud, where one mic is focused in on your voice and the other mic is doing what it can to block out your outside surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the MPOW Flame Pros. I think these do an excellent job of picking up my voice. I even think these do a really good job of picking up bass tones as well. But this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played in the background, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound, because the sound is where I think these start to separate a little bit. I actually enjoy the sound of the Powerbeats Pro. I think it's very dynamic with some really good punchy bass, but some actual very nice clarity in the mids and the treble. As to where I think with the MPOW, there is a lot of focus on the bass, where at times it feels like there's kind of a barrier between you and the mids and the highs. So the bass is definitely booming. The bass has tons of presence. It even has some slight rumble to it. So if you're a bass head, you're going to be completely happy. And you really do want a lot of bass if you're going to be exercising or running. You kind of need that to keep you going. But when it comes to the mids and the highs, I really wish they would have tuned these up just a little bit more, just to kind of balance out a little bit better with that boomy bass. Because I feel like the singers at times kind of feel like they're slightly behind something. Again, it just kind of feels like there's a barrier and it sounds kind of veiled at times. Same thing with the treble, where you're expecting this extreme clarity, and you can get it if you turn the volume up very loud. It seems to bring the treble and the mids up quite a bit, but if you don't want to listen to your music at extreme high volumes, you're going to feel like some of the clarity is just blocked out by some of the bass. But for $100, I still think these sound excellent, but if you're going to compare them right next to the Powerbeats Pro, that is a noticeable difference. Now, as far as the Soundstage and the sound imaging, these don't feel very open. It feels like you're in a medium-sized room and that you're listening to like two larger tower speakers. So it doesn't feel like there's a lot of space between you and the instruments. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of space between you and the singer. And as far as being able to tell where instruments are coming from, it's doing a decent job, but it's not very detailed to know that, okay, there's a little bit of depth between me and the guitarist or me and the singer. Again, it still feels like you're sitting right in front of two large stereo speakers, which again, for working out and exercising, this will definitely get the job done. Now, as far as my cons with these, again, I feel like the mids and the treble need that little bit of boost. So the only thing I would really recommend is a slight boost, or even have an app to be able to EQ these a little bit. But outside of that, the value that the MPOWs are giving you for $100 in comparison to what the Powerbeats Pro give you at $250, this is a nice alternative. But guys, that's my video on the MPOW Flame Pros. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.